DS3 TV. We are back for another video, and after a long awaited break, as you can see, I'm in a new place. Pretty nice. Yeah, I got a new chair, and yeah, ready to get into the our videos again, and kind of get into it. Also, I have a new goal, so subscribe. Let's reach for the next goal, which is going to be 10,000 subscribers, and I will try the hottest hot sauce. The reason why, well, one of the hottest hot sauces, maybe, I don't know which one, but you might not notice, I am a person that doesn't really care for hot stuff, so that is going to be an interesting video if you want to make it happen. So yeah, let's get to 10,000 subscribers so you guys can see me, in pain. But yeah, let's get into it. And why am I on that one? And no, that's not what I wanted. All right. And all right, and also subscribe to the channel. Also comment what videos you want me to react to in the comment section down below. And I think I'm gonna put out 2 videos a day now, because I feel like I need to get back on schedule how I used to do 3 videos a day, and that was a really good schedule. So let's try to up it to like 2 videos, and we'll go from there. So yeah, let's get into the video and play.
Earlier last year, I found myself with a surprise gap in my upload schedule, so I did what any self-respecting online content creator would do. I panicked, hastily cobbled together a glorified meme dump, and then watched in shock as it became one of my most popular videos of the year.
Honestly, insane. And the funny thing is, that actually got a lot of views when I did the last one. So, I was actually kind of surprised by that. Thank you guys for that. That's actually on you. Thank you guys.
I'd say the internet is a confounding mistress, but I know damn well that you're all just here for the memes, and I'm honestly an idiot for not realizing it sooner. So, I have scoured far and wide, but mostly the Mediterranean, to bring you 4 more of the finest in historical shitposts. I would apologize for how safe I'm playing it by sticking to my usual historical stomping grounds, but I've been sick all week, and I am way too hopped up on cold meds to have any capacity for new research, self-awareness, or remorse. So let's do some memes. Number 4.
That's how it is. That's how it's kind of been for me too. Been a little bit sick, but let's get into it, Gotta get back into the groove of things.
4. History can be weird about people's bones. You'd think that people tend to sit still once they die, but sometimes corpses and bones become prolific travelers. Machiavelli is buried somewhere in this church, but we have no idea where. The body of Alexander the Great up and disappeared a couple centuries after he died, and Hernan Cortez was buried and exhumed 9 times, ferried across the Atlantic Ocean, and casually misplaced for a century. But one instance of bone shuffling that always amuses me is the story of Dante Alighieri. Dante had a complicated relationship with his hometown of Florence, being that he really liked it, but he just wished that it wasn't so full of assholes who exiled him. So after Dante died in the city of Ravenna, Florence realized that he was actually a pretty popular poet.
Everybody would like to, they would not like to have a lot of assholes in their city,
So they asked for his body back in 1396 and again in 1429, but Ravenna said, "Buzz off, you exiled him, he's ours." Eventually, a Florentine from the Medici family I wasn't lying about being sick. Oh god, that hurts.
I'm kind of happy I waited till I was all better, because I would have hated coughing over the video and stuff like that. I would have hated that.
Oh, delicious tea. Jesus. Okay. Eventually, a Florentine from the Medici family became pope and organized, i.e. demanded, for Dante to be returned to Florence so Michelangelo could build a mausoleum for him. Ravenna's hands were tied because, it's the pope, so they agreed and gave Florence the casket. Now, it's not exactly polite to go throwing open the sealed sarcophagus of your beloved native poet, but some Florentines in the delegation to Ravenna were a little suspicious, so they casually yanked open the tomb to find nothing. Whoops. Yeah, so the Franciscan monks pulled a little sneaky on them by stealthing Dante's bones out of the sarcophagus and into a hiding spot in their monastery. But Florence was in the awkward position where they couldn't call out Ravenna for hoodwinking them without admitting to opening a sealed sarcophagus. So...
Oh, so that kind of put him in this little situation. Yeah, that kind of did put him in a pretty big pickle.
Florence just called it a day, pretended like nothing happened, and went home. And so lay the greatest poet in Italian history, packed up into a tiny box and hidden behind a wall like he was a secret stash of Christmas presents. Jeez, that's actually pretty morbid. Eventually, he did get moved into a shiny new mausoleum, but only some 300 years later. In the end, safe to say that Dante would have been all for Ravenna's reverse skeleton heist. It sure embarrassed the hell out of Florence, so I say mission accomplished. Number 3. Alexander the Rad was, by most accounts, pretty good at stabbing people with spears. After thoroughly beating the pants off the Persian Empire and becoming the most powerful man in history at the age of 26, Alexander saw absolutely zero reasons to stop. So he kept on pushing east and east and east and founded over 20 different cities named Alexandria across the former Persian Empire. Part of me thinks that this is just empty vanity, but the other part of me that's a complete slave to aesthetics recognizes that this is some A-tier branding. Eventually, Alexander the Alexander ran into the
You gotta, once you're named Alexander the Great, you have to call cities after yourself.
Indus Valley and thought, well, this will make a fine addition to my collection. So he fought the Battle of the Hydaspes River in 326 and won. Come on, this is Alexander the plot armor after all. What did you think was going to happen? If you're Alexander the Cool King, then this is great news. But
Alexander doesn't die from war. He dies from sickness. And also by sickness, which is probably a good time to say this, get your vaccines. Get your vaccines, alright? I think it's like 1 billion people that got them, but get them, please. This is a good thing. Remember, if you ever forget anything else that I said in this channel at all, just remember that if Alexander the Great could die from a cold, then yeah, get the vaccine.
But if you're one of the 40,000 soldiers in his army, you might rightly be feeling a little worn out after 5 straight years of war. So when the Macedonians approached the Hephaestus River, his soldiers had enough, and I can see why. They'd basically journeyed 3,000 miles off the end of all of their maps, so they told Alexander, like hell are we gonna cross that river? We'll fall off. Excuse me? Fall off what? Did we stutter, Alex? The world. If we cross that river, we will fall off the world. So, Alexander, the not yet aware of how globes work, read the room and called off the campaign, marking the first and the last time that he ever showed as much as an ounce of restraint in his entire life. And then he died of alcohol poisoning a year later. Number 2.
I thought it was they said he had a flu or whatever. Maybe that was the first theory or something, that he could have died from being really, really sick. But yeah, I thought that was always what I heard, that he died from being real, he had a really bad fever or something, that he just dropped dead. I don't know.
This next story is a tale as old as imperialism, where the names are made up and the cultural significance doesn't matter. So, Greece, right? Smart old guys with beards, lots of pretty islands, endless stereotypes about national debt. Yeah, it's Greece, you get it. But if you ask someone from there what their country's called, they'll say Hellas, named after Helen, since the Trojan War was the first time that Greece really acted as a semi-unified thing. Now you may be wondering, how did we get from Hellas to Greece? Those two words are as far apart from each other as possible. Blue, you sociopath. Every single letter is different except for E. Well, I'm getting there, and to solve this great linguistic conundrum, we gotta bust out some maps. So, there's this super ancient city here called Graia, right? Cool. And in the 8th century BC, they founded the colony of Cumae on the west coast of Italy. Some 500 years later, the Roman Republic started sauntering their way down the coast and ran into these people who spoke a different language, had very strong opinions about philosophy, and worshipped a unique pantheon of gods. The Romans saw these people in Cumae and said, neat. So they marked them down as originally coming from Graia, dabbled in some divine IP theft to beef up their own pantheon, and moved right along. As they went south, they ran into even more cities where the people spoke this same weird language, dished about Platonic allegories for enlightenment, and worshipped the same lovable disasters we call the Olympians. Immediately, those big brain Romans knew what was up. For this clearly was another colony from Graia. Cumae? Graia. Thurii? Graia. Syracuse? Graia.
Honestly, everything's Graia. Why would anything else be anything different?
This entire landmass to the east full of unique and independent city-states? What do you know? It's gotta be Graia! Now, contrary to Roman assertions, every Hellenic city in the world was not, in fact, a colony from Graia. But whenever a city tried to politely tell the Romans that they were originally from, say, Athens or Corinth instead, the Romans said, no, we're pretty sure.
No. You're just lying. All right, it's fake. That's fake news. You can't be from there. That's impossible. Athens, really, really.
You're actually from Graia. Eventually, even the Romans figured out that maybe all of these people weren't the same, but Rome didn't have a habit of admitting their mistakes, and they weren't about to start now. So they compromised and said, okay, fine. Maybe you're not all colonies from Graia, but you're close enough, so we'll add a letter and call you Graiki. Awesome. Problem solved. And that, dear viewers, is why Hellas is called Greece. Imperialism in a nutshell. Number 1. We talk a lot on this channel about conflict and wars and junk like that because spectacles and drama put butts in seats, but in some rare cases, no humans were harmed in the making of this history meme. So now we turn to the tiny European principality of Liechtenstein. Little Liechtenstein was originally one of about 80 billion microstates within the Holy Roman Empire, but managed to tuck and roll through Napoleon's pan-European Zerg rush and became an independent state in 1806. In the decades after, it was part of the German Confederation, which was dominated by Prussia and weirdly included half of Austria. Even though Prussia and Austria were rivals, it's less confusing than the HRE, I'll give it that, but oh man, only just. So in 1860s,
I would still say it's about like 80% confusing, like honestly.
A war broke out between the two, and Liechtenstein took the opportunity to declare independence from the Confederation and total neutrality. The extremely modest 80-man army took up their post guarding an alpine pass along the border between themselves and Austria and proceeded to see exactly 0 combat encounters because their only threat was Austria, who did not care enough to even consider invading them. So the army stood guard over a stunning view of the Alps for a quiet month and a half, and this is starting to sound less like a military deployment and more like summer camp. But just when it seemed like this story couldn't possibly get any more Switzerlandy than it already was for our 80 Liechtensteiner pals, they returned home with 81 men, because they made a friend. Oh, this is so wholesome. Apparently an Italian guy ran into the soldiers while they were out in the mountains and joined them on their way back because he wanted to come live in Liechtenstein. So with one new best friend and a meme for the ages, Liechtenstein said, alrighty, I think we're done here, and fully disbanded the army, proceeding to out-Switzerland even the Swiss through both world wars. Well played, Liechtenstein. Well played. So, what have we learned here today? Well, I'd say
I would say be more like Liechtenstein. Flat earthers can ruin a war. I mean, you can probably see what's already up here, so the first one I can't really say, but like the last two, I think I got them right, I would say.
1. Dante can never catch a break. 2. Flat earthers will ruin all of your plans to conquer India. 3. The Greece is a lie. And 4. The real history meme is, quite literally, the friends we made along the way.
Okay. Those are pretty good. Tell me what lessons that we learned in this thing in the comment section down below. Also, give me videos to watch too, and yeah, I believe that is, yeah, give me videos to watch in the comment section down below, and also yeah, subscribe to the channel. Get to 10K subscribers, so that way I will eat the, actually no, I'll try the Hot Ones hot sauce. As I just thought about it now, I'll try the Hot Ones hot sauce. Even though I never really, I don't have a lot of spicy and hot things in my life, so that's gonna be fun for me. But yeah, so yeah, give me to 10,000 subscribers. That's gonna be the next goal that we'll hit, I guess. Well, that we'll try to hit. So let's get it. Let's get to it, and yeah. Thank you for 1,070 subscribers, and yeah. All right, peace.